Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. If you're live, this is great. You're going to meet all of our speakers firsthand. If you're watching the replay, you're going to get to know them as well. And then hopefully we'll see you in person. So this is just a sneak preview of the 2025 Dog Handler Academy Business Leadership Summit. If you haven't already signed up, it is in September. It's coming up. So it's the 10th through the 12th in Chicago, Illinois. We've made it super simple for you to join us. Fly into the airport, we'll shuttle you over to the hotel. All of your meals are included. It's really meant to be an all-inclusive event. So whether you're an owner or a senior level manager, this is the event that you need to attend. I am Eve Molzon, founder of Dog Handler Academy. I cannot wait to see all of you there. As I said, this is really meant to be an all-inclusive, super strategic. We're not giving you the fluff. We're not giving you theory. All of our speakers have been told there has to be actionable items. These are all people that I have either personally worked with or I have been following, and that I know that they add great value to your business. So just to give you a little preview, we're going to kick things off on Wednesday evening with our sponsor showcase and a meet and greet, because we all want to talk to each other. Thursday and Friday, that's where you're going to get all of that great information from our speakers. Then that evening, in the evening hours, we're going to have some hospitality time. So you're going to talk to our speakers one-on-one. You're going to hang out with our sponsors. Really, that's kind of where those magic moments happen, where you can really open up about some struggles that you're having or some great ideas that you've had that might help somebody else that's in attendance. So really love that after hours get together. And then you can hop on the shuttle and fly back home and start implementing. So simplest way to put it, this is the down and dirty seminar, right? I want to fly you in, get you a bunch of knowledge, get you strategizing on how to run your businesses more effectively, more profitably, and just less stress overall. All of those things are super important. So to get things started, our keynote speaker, Dominic, who's on the other side of the ocean, isn't with us live, but we have a video that he wanted to present to you. So Kristen, go ahead and show us Mr. Dom.
Hey everybody in Dog Handler Academy land, Dom Hodgson, the Pet Biz Wiz, sending you a personal message to say that I am thrilled and excited to be heading to Chicago to speak at Eve's Amazing Leadership Summit in September. I really can't wait. I was absolutely stoked to be asked to deliver the keynote and another presentation too. So let me tell you a little bit about what I'm going to be talking about while I'm there. If any of you don't know me or have heard me before, do not adjust your sets or your earplugs, because this is how I speak. I am from the UK, and I started in the pet industry in 2011 with the UK's first ever dog adventure business. I progressed to training after that. I had a failed online store, and since 2016, 2017, I have been primarily coaching and consulting with other pet service providers, and now I specialize in helping dog daycares and pet resort owners just like you. So what do I do that is different to everybody else, and why should you make an effort to grab a ticket and come and listen to me? Well, I have become very good at helping pet business owners to break out of their kind of shell and help them to realize their potential and be seen, known, feared and revered as the go-to pet care leader in their town. So I talk a lot about expert status and what you need to do to become an expert, but really you want to be seen and known as being a leader, because leaders have followers. And when you lead on price, when you lead on customer service, when you lead with innovation, when you lead with all of those things, it's much easier for you to attract the kind of clients who you really want to work with, and to attract the kind of team members who are going to elevate your organization and drive your business forward to new heights. So that is my first keynote, all about how to be seen as the local leader. I'm also going to be talking about something which is a real passion of mine, and that is customer service. So in 2022, I wrote a book called How to Disneyfy Your Pet Business. And I'm all about how to help pet service providers to really, break out of the mold and be seen as not as Six Flags, but as the Disney of dog daycares in your town. And we do this by creating wow factor moments that create memories, that create experiences that affluent dog owners want to talk about. Okay, we're going to be talking about how to make your service brag worthy, so that the clients feel like they're locked in. They feel like they're at the Four Seasons. You know, they feel special just for being able to use your service. So we're going to run through a whole customer service audit, and I'm going to be showing you all of the touch points that you need to hit in order to provide these wow factor moments that are going to make your business truly, truly memorable. And wrapped up within all of that, I'm also going to be talking about pricing and promotion, and kind of all of the ways that you can use what makes you different to help you to make more money and to be more impactful in your pet business community. Thanks again to Eve for the invite. My tickets are booked. My passport is ready. And only a few months to wait now. Once we get the summer out of the way, this summer is going to be here. So for those of you who have tickets, I can't wait to meet you and to appear alongside all of the other amazing speakers who are going to be there. You guys are so lucky. Eve has curated a absolutely tremendous lineup. And if you don't have a ticket yet, like, what the hell are you waiting for? Click the link, whatever Eve puts up for you, to grab a ticket, and I'll see you in September. Bye for now.
If you can't tell, Dom is full of jokes. You'll be highly entertained during his presentation. So he's definitely a character and then some. So switching gears onto human resources, which is an area that we as small business people struggle with. You know, we're not HR people. So we've got Rob Van Kranenbroek with us. He's a seasoned HR and learning development expert. I met Rob at a corporation that I worked at and learned so much from him. He has owned his own small business, so he can really relate to all of us. He's worked in manufacturing, medical, retail, education, and really helped corporations change their culture. And he gives you the steps. So it's not just buy everybody pizza every night. So Rob's great at kind of walking you through that process. His company is called Culture at Work, and he's very passionate about building those strong teams. So Rob, tell us what it is that, give us the high level overview of how you're going to teach us to have good culture.
Okay, great. Thank you, Eve. But if anybody wants to buy me pizza, I'm up for that too. So first of all, I want to thank you for having me, Eve, because you are a practitioner, you are an advisor, you are a leader, and probably most of all, what this group will benefit from is an innovator in the practices and in running this business and in contributing to the industry overall. So thank you for all the efforts that I know you've done over the many, many years here. So thank you for that. The presentation will be accountability with love. And where we want to go with this is that, first of all, understand that you're only as good as your team is, right? Because if you're doing everything yourself, I already heard the word a couple of times used today in the short presentations, you're already about stress, right? So there's plenty of work to do. You can't do it all yourself for an extended period of time. So how do we take that concept and make sure that it's not only effective productivity of yourself, but your team as well, because you can't do everything yourself. So you're only as good as your team is. And knowing when you recognize that, you can start to develop what your standards are, though, and how you want your team to behave. And with that, to make sure that that is in place and sustainable, comes the piece of accountability. So one of the things we also want to do in this presentation is remove the stigma that accountability is something bad and something the manager is doing to you, because that's not the case. In fact, they're doing it for you. So accountability is good and it's fair, right, when done properly. So we will go from there and ask you to learn to get a habit to relate your mission, the reason your business exists, and always relate that to the accountability or the work purpose that you're trying to give to the employee. What's the assignment? and understanding why that's important, not simply just delegating. Delegating alone won't create engagement. It won't create the quality of work that you want to see. It won't get you those high standards. However, if you relate it to the purpose, the mission of the organization, that you're caring for some other owner's pet that care very much, and think about if it was your pet, when you start to make those kind of emotional connections with people, they are much more likely to buy in and want to actually help provide those standards and hold themselves accountable and each other to those standards. So we'll talk about creating sustainable standards and demonstrating at the same time in those standards that in fact that's actually showing concern for people and about treating people equitably and believing in what they can accomplish. It's not set to just govern them. And it's also we don't want to be only about accountability. We also want to show empathy for people when it's warranted. So if somebody has a real situation that causes some angst and maybe gets into the workplace, how do we show empathy, understanding, without being perceived as being soft and saying, okay, they're making the exceptions for this person, why not for me? Let's understand why we would make that exception, why we wouldn't, and when we want to use that empathy, because we never want to stop being human beings, but also understanding we're running a business. In addition to that, we want to recognize, in fact, that if you have to manage people, then with that comes emotions. Not only their emotions, but your emotions. So if you manage people,
Certainly.
you're in the emotion managing business. And sometimes you have to filter out the noise that comes with it and get to what's really maybe upsetting somebody or really what the resistance is. And when you get really good at asking those first 2 or 3 questions, that kind of a funnel, think about it, and gets the emotion away and gets to what's the real issue, you get to that quote root cause, life gets a lot better. You get greater productivity, and quite frankly, you get better connectivity with your employee. So we will talk a lot about that and how we foster high relationship equity. And what that means is that the person becomes so connected to you as an employee, almost like a family member, that even when things go wrong or you don't have your best day as a leader, they're still with you. They have your back, right? When you're not at your business, they're still doing the best they possibly can for you, right? So we'll place that alongside the bucket of the foundation of trust in a business that relates to accountability and show how that will ultimately drive employee engagement. And finally, we'll inject into this presentation a couple actual dialogues of what they might look like that you see every day in your business. But let's turn those dialogues into not dreaded conversations we have, but an opportunity we have to engage, right? And to really develop that relationship equity, build that partnership with our employees. Because again, go back, we're only as good as our team. So let's make the team be the best. So our organization is healthy, the team be the best, so they feel good about the work they do. They want to show up, and life is good for everybody. And we have a thriving business that can take care of the pooches.
Absolutely. And that key, you said the phrase 3 times, relationship equity, and that's so important. And they have to believe in your mission and how to carry it forward. So love it. Super excited. Like I said, I've worked with Rob for several years, so he brings a lot of actionable knowledge to all of you. So thank you,
And I
Mr.
think that's the great thing about all the summits that I've been to of yours in the past, Eve, is it's not just information. It's actionable information. And there's a big difference. When you get actionable information, you go back and you can add value to your business. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I always get frustrated when it's just theory, and then I go, and then how do I do
Right.
it?
What do I do now? Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Rob.
Thank you.
Kristen, has Miss Maddie been able to make it with us? All right. Well, next would be Maddie Warner. Maddie is the founder and lead instructor of Ready Pet Education. She has a background as a vet tech, firefighter, canine handler for FEMA at the USAR teams. She brings just a wealth of knowledge on pet first aid and real world emergency stuff.
Hi, I am Maddie Warner. I'm the owner of Ready Pet Education. We teach pet first aid and CPR classes and offer business preparedness training. I'm really excited to be speaking at the Dog Handler Academy Summit in September and just wanted to share a little preview of what I'll be talking about there. So, emergency preparedness can be an overwhelming thing to think about in your business. When we talk about success in business, we often highlight innovation, leadership, growth, staff training, but there's one factor that quietly determines whether or not a company can survive, and that's preparedness, because sooner or later, your business is going to face an emergency or disaster of some kind. And business preparedness isn't just about having like a backup plan. It's about building resilience and preparedness into your daily operations and anticipating these risks, kind of like knowing what enemy you face. So whether it's a supply chain disruption, cybersecurity issue, or some sort of natural disaster, how prepared you are will determine how well your business recovers. And a small business administration statistic shows that 60% of businesses will not reopen after a disaster. And I want to help you be sure that you're not part of that statistic. I want your business to be able to weather any kind of emergency and come out on the other side with renewed confidence in your staff, in yourself, a deeper trust with your clients, and of course, the highest quality of service to the animals that you care for. But there's many factors that go into preparedness, from written plans and documents, staff training, insurance, policies, procedures. It can be difficult to know where to start, what's legally required of you, and what the real world needs are for your business to be prepared for a variety of different disasters. So, in my session, I'll be sharing with you all some real world stories of preparedness. I'll kind of outline what's legally expected of you and help you build a roadmap to ensure that you kind of cover all of your bases, to make your business more resilient. So I can't wait to see you all in September and have safe travels.
My staff have gone through her program and we loved it. Got a lot out of it. So hope you'll join Miss Maddie. And then I have Mr. Sean Felty. Sean co-owns Greenland Pet Resorts and is the founder of Next Tree Strategies. Next Tree Strategies. He has over 20 years of experience in the dog daycare world, specializing turning business chaos into clarity. He has saved owners hundreds of thousands by mastering labor costs and operational efficiencies. And with labor being our biggest expense, most of us are running in that 50% of profit range. Sean is the guy that can give you those, again, actionable steps of how do you look at lowering your costs, but still providing a safe environment. So, Mr. Sean, give us some key highlights and takeaways.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So the name of the presentation is one KPI to rule them all, and as you said, it's revolving around labor costs and some other KPIs. Over the last 8 months since your last summit, I've done a lot of work with owners in this regard, and basically I've come to a point where I have a really easy way, I think, to explain it to people so they can start to do this type of thing themselves. A lot of any KPI tracking, like the biggest battle really is actually taking the time to sit down and track these things. So the presentation will include like a 4-step process to assess your labor and make changes in your business to improve profitability. So yeah, it's been really fun working with people, and I think the coolest thing about it is there's a lot of owners out there that are bringing in a ton of revenue, and they maybe aren't seeing it on the profit side. So when you can start to make these changes, there's like a light bulb that goes off, and people really can see, wow, I actually have built this thing that I can reinvest in, and so all these different things that people want to do, they're almost there already. It's just there's some adjustments that can be made to improve profitability. So that's what the presentation's about.
Well, I know last year when you gave us the example of someone you were working with and we got done and you were like, yep, we saved him $75,000. And I was like, that's a lot of money. I mean, we're not talking just 1,000 here or there. I mean, and the fact that you are using their previous data, you're not saying, hey, here's a new concept. You're saying this is what you're already doing, and then this is how to plug and play, so to speak, to show people how they can run it more effectively. So yeah, light bulb moments
Exciting.
for sure. Light bulb moments for sure. So great to have you joining us. Sean is a wealth of knowledge also just in running multiple resorts. He's a great person to catch after presentation and ask 50 questions of. So always super exciting. Miss Kelly
Eve.
Dodd. Kelly is the general manager of Perfect Pooch and the founder of Next Level Leadership Academy, which she just recently launched. She is going into the realm of being a leadership consultant. She is very passionate about incentivizing and building great teams, which is why we wanted to bring her on board with us. She has a wealth of knowledge. She speaks the language, she walks the walk, and she talks the talk. So Kelly definitely is one of those people that you can sit down and have that in-depth, heartfelt conversation about what you're struggling with and how to incentivize your people. And she's gonna listen with open ears and give you some advice and strategies. So, Miss Kelly, what should people expect from your presentation?
Wow, I don't know how to go past that there, Eve. Wow, you really really boosted me up. I'm thinking like I'm in with all these big names and whoa.
You're
But
in the
no.
room, girl. You are in the room. You got a seat at the table.
No, again, I thoroughly appreciate the invite to be at this, because knowing some of these people and what they bring, what they have brought to the table, you have brought to the table in the past, it just it means a lot. But for me, if a lot of you guys might not know me, I'm kind of a no name. I have probably over 25 years experience as a manager. Most of that was in retail. Last 8.5 of that before I came into this industry was running Petco's and PetSmart. So I did hit the pet specialty area there a little bit. And then I've been in this industry now for about literally 6.5 years. But my passion has always been mentoring and leading people, and kind of came about at a conference last year, this epiphany to go this venture with the Next Level Leadership Academy, where it's literally kind of new to the industry, where I will be training GMs and leaders and those people, because I always asked, why is it that a business owner can have a business advisor? Why can't we have a business or leadership advisor? So that is what I am going to be bringing to the table, aside from the fact of the seminar that you asked me lovingly to do, which I'm so honored, which is going to be called Boosting Performance and Morale, Designing Effective Incentive Bonus Programs for Your Pet Business. Yeah, I don't know why I made that so long.
You were trying to explain it all in one sentence.
Exactly. But this was a labor of love. Honestly, this started as a last-ditch effort. If I know I've heard this in many a conference, on different conference calls, webinars, where people were kind of like the industry shifted as of COVID. It was really hard to want to get people to either want to come back to work, or if they did come to work, wanting to actually put the effort in. And I'm also a facility that literally has 2 other facilities less than like 5 minutes from me. So I'm competing very closely with others, and they have financiers to kind of help them, where my owner, it's just him. So it was like, how can we set ourselves apart with applicants, with people that then come on board and want to stay with us and not want to go down the street where they're offering more money an hour than we are. And this is what I came up with, which was basically a monthly incentive bonus. Now, I say monthly, you can make it quarterly, you could make it whatever the heck you want to do with it. The few owners that I have talked to and have helped set this up, it's literally geared towards their specific business. But I will help you kind of navigate some of that in this seminar. So basically what you'll get from it is, how I got the buy-in from the team, because trust me, there were skeptics. I had people test me with this because it does have a component in the incentive that if they don't do the things that are in there or they get coachings, they don't get the incentive. And we know
Kind of
all
back
these.
to Rob and that accountability piece, right?
Correct. So it's one now where, for us in the past, it was a piece of paper, it would go in a file and they could care less. Now it's a piece of paper that also has a monetary detriment that comes along with it. And everybody needs money, wants money, and now they're willing to put the effort in. So it's been a game changer. Also, it helps you with aligning the bonus to your KPIs like upsells, reviews,
Right.
reliability. It could be something as simple as making sure, like if you have cleaning that gets done, that it's getting done on a regular basis and done right. I mean, you can get down to the knit and grit. The different levels that you can do, because this incentive bonus is for how I have it set up. I have my base level staff, then I have my leads that are in their different areas. Then it goes up to my shift leads. Then it goes up to my management, then the assistant manager. And yes, I even have accountability. So it can go all the way up the ladder. And it's just brings everybody together, because in this, there's the individual component that they have to contribute to. Then there's the team effort. So that makes those that go, I really don't want to have a dog incident, so get off your phone, peer to peer, getting them to work as a team. And then there's a performance piece of it, which is basically just rating them as the individual on their overall performance for that month, like what extra that they've brought to the table. So it's really rewarding those that have gone above and beyond just what the KPIs have asked for. And
Perfect.
from there, it's really, I'll show you kind of how to go through it, but it's really how do you stop the bleeding of the money going out of the facility, and how do you generate the revenue back into the facility.
Fabulous. Yeah, there's only so many pizza parties that I can host, right?
Correct. Correct. And then it also helps you filter out, again, the dead weight.
Perfect.
Okay. And then as far as bringing in excellent, higher quality applicants, I cannot tell you the difference it has made. I start the conversation with, this is how much we start an hour. They go, because I know what the others are making. But once I explain this program to them and how they're going to get rewarded each month and the monetary amount that they get each month that they can work towards, they always say to me, that shows us that you value your employees and want to reward them for bringing the culture, the morale, the revenue to the facility. So it's definitely made a huge shift. And I will honestly say, from the time that I started with the Pooch till now, I have finally reached my retention rate that I used to have in retail. And it's phenomenal. These people just feel so valued that they
Nice.
just don't want to go anywhere else, no matter how much more that they are paying. So I'll be showing you different examples of like what it can look like, but I will give you basically a blueprint so that you will be able to take that with you and go back and implement it at your facilities.
Fabulous. Well, I'm excited to see the presentation in real life. So I know we chatted about it quite a bit. And again, it's great. If you haven't noticed, like, we're bringing you things where culture and knowing your labor costs and how do you incentivize. So we're really trying to bring everything into you that, again, is going to allow you to run a more profitable business and yet keep everything safe. So next I have Sherry Econofor Romaki. And if I say it really fast, you don't know if I misspell it. We call her Sherry AR, Sherry AR. So Sherry built and ran K9 Campus. It was a luxury 21,000 square foot facility in Florida. I visited her several times and was always wowed by it. She now owns Facets Consulting Group. She's a powerhouse in business development. operations, organizational culture. And when I say organizational culture, I mean, you see my sticky notes, like she would have those color coded in a special format behind me for sure. So Sherry consults with daycare owners to help them fine tune their operations, their management, and their communications to create lasting success. So Sherry, give us some down and dirties. What are we going to take home from your presentation?
Well, first of all, so good to see you, Eve, and I'm so happy to be here with these other powerhouses. I hope I can live up to all the expectations, that's for sure. There's nothing I love more than sharing knowledge and information. So this is really a great opportunity, and I love it. I'm going to be focusing on a portion of the business health. So everybody's business has a value associated to what their health is. And if you offer daycare, boarding, grooming, and training, each one of those groups has a value, and the sum of that value, depending on how you rate, will give your overall health of your organization. In depth, even more, you have a value for your staff, you have a value for your clients, and then you also have a value for your functional organization. And that's what I'm going to focus on, the functional organization, meaning your daily activities, your policies, procedures, your checklists, outlines, anything to simplify the day-to-day activities for your staff so they can be more productive in their day. Anything to simplify, idiot proof, if you want to say, and just make a happier staff, because they're really, you take away the questioning, the what ifs of the day-to-day activities. So the steps and tools to simplify the daily activities, you want to make sure they're done correctly. If you're like me, you want everyone to do it the same way, so there's no variability. And then this way, the people can't say, well, I didn't know.
Those words never come out of anybody's mouth. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't know that. And to have them do it the same way, but also in the understanding that time is money, and using steps that can increase or eliminate conflict, decrease costs, and increase productivity altogether. And a lot of people don't associate that with policies and procedures that you put in place for your staff. And a lot of people don't realize too that you can put policies and procedures in place for your clients to eliminate that conflict and increase productivity on their side of the business as well. So that's what I'm going to focus on, and to give some tools and recommendations on how they can implement that in their facility so they can achieve those goals.
I think that's fabulous. Like I said, when I would go to your facilities and I'd be like, look at this and look at like me walking in, not knowing how you operate, I could immediately see, oh, you do this and this and this, you do this and this and this. You're color coding. Again, color coding. I've borrowed many ideas from Sherry's facility that I've implemented at my own. So
and one of the things to also know is that because of my policies and procedures, I would incorporate them into my tours for future clients, so they saw exactly how everything was done and how simplistic it was. It was a huge selling point for getting those new clientele as well.
yeah, I take that one with our medication policy when people show up with their meds and I'm like, we have a procedure. I know you wrote me a sticky note and you have all this done, but we have a procedure and we are going to follow it to ensure that we administer medication appropriately. And yes, I got that from Sherry. So definitely you will take away a ton of items from Sherry's. I still have pictures on my phone from Sherry's facility that I reference. So yeah, you have really kind of set that bar for that organizational and like you said, it takes the drama away when all the staff know this is what to do, this is how to do it, these are the steps in place, because then nobody should be saying, well, so and so does it this way. Nope, that's not the Sherry way. Sherry says this way, and this way, and this is how it flows. So no, I absolutely love it. So glad you're going to join us in Chicago.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So next we have Brian Boyd. We have not met in person, but I have been following Brian for the last 2 years. He is a tax strategist. I went to a tax strategist seminar 9 years ago now, and I left that seminar and it immediately saved me $8,000 in taxes that next year. So I cannot tell you how important it is to have a tax strategist that you can call on and ask questions of. So Brian he is an attorney. No making fun of lawyers at the seminar. We're just gonna leave that one off the table. He specializes in corporate law, tax planning, asset protection, and business succession. He's an expert in creating tax-effective strategies and structures that protect your assets and keep your business profitable for generations to come. He also is a dog lover, which is why he fits in perfect with our crew. So, Brian, give us some little tidbits. What are some things that we're going to take away from your presentation?
Well, thank you for that introduction. And it's good to be among such an esteemed crowd here. But one of the things I'm going to be talking about, among many others, is the proper structure for your business that you have put your heart and soul into. You're taking care of our furry, family members every day, and they are a big part of the public's life. They're a big part of your life. And that love needs to be protected. How do we do that? Well, we create structures around you, whether that's an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, a partnership, or a trust. We have to find the right one for you, because just like our furry friends, we're all different. We all have different goals. And in order to ensure that that is protected along with our furry friends, we have to do what is best for you. Just like our fingerprints, we're all unique. What does that mean? That means we have to figure out, what do you want to do? Do you want to retire early? Do you want to sell your business at some point, maybe to one of these other business owners? Well, how do we set that up? How do we make you as profitable as possible? And how do we do that without losing money to Uncle Sam every month and every year? Well, there are strategies in place. These strategies are time tested. They're proven. They are stamped by the IRS as, yes, you can do that. But you know what? You probably don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about it because you're not supposed to know anything about it. You didn't go to tax school. You didn't go to law school. So I'm going to be walking you through several different strategies that are going to help you save money at the end of the year, put money in the bank for later on in life when you're ready to retire, and sit on the front porch with your furry friend and watch the sunset. That's what I'm going to do. It's going to be an hour of content based on entity structure for you. And it's going to be strategies that you can take home and implement with your professionals around you. That includes your banker, your insurance agent, your CPA or accountant, and your own lawyer. I will have handouts for everybody, and you'll be able to walk out of there knowing exactly what we talked about. Take notes, because there's a lot of information coming your way. I'm
so excited. I'm just so excited. I just know, again, I know what I saved after going to a tax strategist seminar. I know that I'm going to save money by hearing your presentation, period. It's going to happen. So absolutely. I cannot wait. So thank you for joining us. On to Max Goodman. Sure. Max is a partner in Amundsen Davis LLC. He is also an attorney. He's going to be coming at us with a lot of that employment law. So he defends clients against internet defamation. Like we've never had an employee trying to defame us. Doxing and online harassment. Never had a client do that. All while protecting our reputation and advocating for free speech. So he's a leader in reputation management and knows exactly how to tackle online challenges that affect our business. Max couldn't join us today. He had an actual client emergency pop up, which is great. Clearly, he's responsive to his clients. So again, I haven't met Max in person, but he completely understands the assignment. As Brian said, we all take care of these fur children for our clients. So things can get a little dicey. They can take things personal. And you need to know, how is it that you can calm the waters, keep your reputation in place, and kind of smooth everything over. So with that, we also have Mr. Mark Clayman. Mark is a senior counselor at Pet Camp. He is on the West Coast in California. He and his wife opened it in 1997. I like to call Mark the OG. The first certified green pet care facility in the US, and still San Francisco's largest family-owned pet care business with 3 locations. He's got over 30 years of experience. Mark has seen industry trends come and go. What's the flavor of the year? And he truly has mastered always staying ahead of what is happening. He has the first catio that I am ever aware of, where he's boarding cats at a very large scale. His enrichment space that he recently created this past year is bar none phenomenal. Again, borrowing little ideas from Mark is one of my favorite things to do because he's all innovative and creative with them. Mark is also one of those people that he's going to tell you how he sees it, and he's going to be honest with you and upfront about what it is that he sees going on in the industry, what it is that he thinks should be transpiring. And that is one of the things that I truly appreciate about him, is that his honesty and his humbleness definitely carry him forward.
Hi, I'm Mark Clayman, Senior Counselor at Pet Camp in San Francisco. Let me start by thanking Eve for including me in the 2025 Dog Handler Academy Business Leadership Summit. I'm super excited to both share some thoughts, hear from the other speakers, and learn from all of you. Eve asked me to chat about culture, systems, and people at Pet Camp. So the title of my discussion with you is, It's 5 o'clock somewhere, time to blend culture, systems, and people. Too often we think about these items as individual components of what makes a pet care facility or any business successful. But I think the real key to success is figuring out how to blend these components together into a business and into a brand that reflects who you are, your priorities, and your values. There are many different versions of success. I'm not going to tell you what success means to you, only the ways that I think you can use these three components to help get you there. I also want to warn you that I'm not a consultant or a professional speaker. I'm old, a bit crotchety, a big nerd, and like Austin Goolsbee, the head of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, a data dog. Warned you, I'm a big nerd. Like most of you, I spent many, many years prepping dog food, watching play groups, and scooping poop. We opened our first location, our main campground, in 1997, Cat Safari, our cat-only location, in 2007, and our training and enrichment location, our ranger station, in 2023. I tell you this only because I think it means I've made a lot of really, really bad decisions and some really good decisions over the last 28 years. Experimented with different concepts of who Pet Camp is and isn't, refined my idea of success, and tried and failed to both implement other ideas others told me I should implement, and to run a business that others told me would be successful, even if that definition of success wasn't my own. Eve also told me that I needed to leave you with some solid takeaways and provide a prize. I'll definitely share all the material I have with you, but I think the real takeaway is a list of about a dozen books that I think can really change the way you approach running your business and interacting with your team. These aren't pet care books or even necessarily business books, but I found all of them to be thought-provoking and help me make better decisions. And for the prize, well, given the title of this discussion, suspect that means I'm buying the first round of margaritas. Thanks so much. Look forward to seeing you all in September.
That rounds out all of our fabulous presenters and what they bring to the table. This is one of those once in a lifetime, because every year we are doing different speakers. We're kind of bringing you a different vibe each year. So this is a don't miss opportunity. Most of our speakers are coming once to present, and then you won't see them necessarily the next year at our conference. So that's why it is important that you do join us with that. If you haven't truly gotten to know me, you've just stumbled across this video, I own and founded Dog Handler Academy after seeing gaps in the dog daycare employee training platform. I was busy. I had to lay off half my staff for COVID, and I thought, how am I ever going to train all these people at the same time, do it succinctly, and keep my wits about me? So we are one of the only online employee training platforms that is completely automated. If your staff stop watching a video, I'm going to remind you and that staff person frequently via email. We also truly become innovative as well. We listen to the pain points that people are having, and we are constantly adding new content and revamping content as things progress and change. And that is something that I'm very, very proud of. I do own a facility. In fact, I own 2 facilities. I have Fun for Pets dog daycare. I have Possum Pets Country Club, very different. One is your traditional daycare, 15,000 square foot facility. The other one is an enrichment membership based daycare that's 7,200 square feet. So I come to you with a vast array of knowledge. And clearly, as I have talked to you about these speakers, I take from others. I go to conferences and I learn because I don't know what I don't know. And the best way to make sure my business is running at its best is to learn from others. So I'm very, very passionate about learning and education and giving back. So this is also my opportunity to give back to the dog daycare, dog training, dog walking community, knowledge and people that I find very valuable in my life and in my business. And I also run a couple of nonprofits, so mentoring dogs and rehabilitating them as well. So all the good stuff, all the good feels. I want to thank everybody for joining me today, and you will see them all live in September, Chicago, Illinois. It'll be good food, great conversation, phenomenal presentations. So book your registration, get your hotel booked, and join us then.